Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day before we begin the video. Please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers gushed Britt Westburn's Kelly Thibaud. Shocking return this Friday, confirmed by Jason Morgan's Steve Burton. Sighting of her alive in a crowd during the July 14 to 18 GH previews sparks hope for a romantic revival. Presumed dead since Heather Weber's Ali Mills' poisoned hook sliced her arm back in January 2023. A fate she welcomed as an alternative to slowly dying from Huntington's disease. Britt's survival instantly reignites her past chemistry with Jason. It's written all over his face in that preview alone. That wasn't confusion on his face, it was hope. As he juggles crises like Daisy Corinthos Gilmore's Levi Clark Coughlin, kidnapping, and Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, battles, could Britt's comeback rekindle their old flame, or will Jason's loyalties keep love at bay? Jason's glimpse of Britt is about to revive memories of their intense, fleeting romance, marked by adrenaline-filled adventures, leading up to his presumed death on Casadine Island. Her return, whether as herself or a twin, could pull Jason back, especially as his current burden, protecting Sasha Gilmore Corbin, Sophia Matson, and Daisy, is easing up with Sasha's exit from town. If it's Britt, we're expecting a charged reunion that might spark flirtation, but Jason's ties to Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, who is always treating him like he's her plan B, could complicate things. Will Britt's presence reignite their passion, or is their chemistry a relic of the past? Britt's comeback, possibly tied to Rocco Falcone's Finn Francis Carr, questions about his birth, and Brooke Lynn Quartermain's Amanda Seton, vendetta against Lulu Spencer, Alexa Heavens, adds emotional weight. Jason's role as Daisy's godfather and his loyalty to Sonny, facing Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota, pull him in multiple directions. If Britt's return, maybe with a bold move to confide in Jason about where she has been and how she is alive, stirs old feelings, will he let love in or prioritize his family obligations? If Jason and Britt reconnect, it might strain his bond with Carly or complicate Anna Devane's, Finola Hughes, interest in him that comes and goes. But Britt won't be taking a back seat to anyone. We can trust that. Still, why would she have survived and then stayed away from Port Chuck? Thinking that Jason was dead, she may have felt there was nothing left there for her and wanted a clean slate to start new and leave the past behind. Learning that he is alive may come as just as much of a shock to her as seeing her face is to Jason. Will Britt's return bring romance back into Jason's life, sparking a fiery reunion, or will his endless responsibilities and Port Charles chaos keep their love from reigniting? In a move that's already generating waves across Port Charles, rumors are swirling that Dr. Britt Westburn may be making her dramatic return to General Hospital. If true, her reappearance could send shockwaves through the canvas, particularly when it comes to Jason Morgan, whose heart was undeniably touched by Britt before her emotional exit. But is Britt really coming back? And if so, what would her return mean not just for the hospital, but for Jason's life, which has been drifting in the wake of heartbreak, loss, and moral ambiguity? Fans who remember their brief but deeply impactful romance are already buzzing with hope. Britt softened Jason in ways few women ever have, and Jason gave Britt the kind of unwavering loyalty she'd craved her whole life. Their chemistry was unexpected but electric, and their story was cut far too short when tragedy and secrets intervened. So if Britt is back, is there a real chance for a romantic reboot, or has too much changed? Jason is not the same man Britt left behind. Since her departure, he's been thrown into chaos, tangled in mob wars, tangled loyalties, secret missions, and even faked deaths. Every part of Jason's life has been tested. He's kept his emotions buried deep, functioning as protector, hitman, and fixer, but rarely as a man with his own desires. Meanwhile, Britt's absence has left a gaping hole, not just for Jason, but for fans who admired her growth from scheming bad girl to a genuinely complex and lovable heroine. Her exit was felt deeply, and her return could offer Jason something he hasn't had in a long time: peace, connection, and a shot at happiness that doesn't come at the cost of his soul. Of course, Port Charles is a town where the past is never really past, and no return comes without baggage. Britt has history with more than just Jason. Her complicated relationship with her mother Liesl Obrecht, her close ties to Brad, and her own medical secrets all come into play. If she reemerges, what condition is she in, emotionally, physically, and mentally? Is she ready to pick up where she left off, or will she carry scars that Jason must learn to understand and love again? And what about Jason? He may have mourned Britt, but his world hasn't stood still. He's been pulled into dangerous alliances, and there's always the looming specter of his connections to Carly, Sam, and Sunny. Can Britt find her place in that world again? Fans who recall their final scenes together know that Britt and Jason were electric. Their bond formed during a life-or-death struggle, blooming unexpectedly, but becoming one of the most memorable romances Jason ever experienced. She saw Jason for who he really was, without judgment. He, in turn, gave her the kind of steady love she'd rarely known. While many assumed their time was limited from the start, the deep emotional core of their relationship left a lasting impression. Reigniting that flame won't be easy, but that's what makes it so compelling. Jason's heart has been on ice for a long time. Britt's return could force him to confront feelings he's tried to bury, and reawaken parts of himself he thought he'd lost forever. And let's not forget the current dynamics in Port Charles. With Sunny increasingly isolated and Carly entangled in her own dramas, Jason is drifting. Sam has moved on with Dante. Liz is preoccupied with her children and her own trauma. Jason has had moments of connection, but no lasting emotional anchor. Britt could be that anchor, a woman who accepts both his darkness and his light. But will Jason allow himself to love again? Or will his loyalty to the mob and his own self-destructive instincts push Britt away a second time? There's also the question of why Britt would come back now. Could her return tie into a bigger storyline? Is she carrying explosive secrets about the Cassadines? Does she hold medical knowledge that could save someone's life? Could she have a child? There's endless possibility for drama, heartbreak, and revelation. General Hospital doesn't do anything small. Britt's return will be more than just a love story. It could intersect with major story arcs, reignite rivalries, and redefine alliances across the board. The emotional stakes are enormous. For Britt, returning to Port Charles means facing demons, some external, some internal. She must confront those she left behind, including Brad, who's had his own rough road, and Liesl, who may or may not welcome her daughter back with open arms. And for Jason, seeing Britt again could throw his entire worldview into chaos. He's a man built on duty, protection, and quiet suffering. Britt challenged that. She made him laugh. She gave him hope. If she walks back into his life, it could unravel the walls he's built around himself. There's also a lingering question of what kind of man Jason wants to be. In the past, his relationships often ended in tragedy because of the life he leads. Britt was one of the few women who didn't ask him to change, who accepted the risk, who knew the cost and dove in anyway. That made their bond uniquely honest. But Jason has evolved, and Britt likely has too. If they meet again, it will be as different people. The question is, will they still fit together the way they once did? Or will time, trauma, and transformation prove that their love was only meant for a moment, not a lifetime? Viewers are already speculating about how Britt might return. Will it be in the middle of a crisis? Will she show up unannounced, shocking Jason at the worst possible time? Or will whispers of her survival build slowly, giving fans time to prepare for an emotional reunion? Either way, the impact will be massive. Britt isn't just any character. Her death was one of the most gut-wrenching losses in recent GH history, and bringing her back can't be done lightly. The show will need to justify it with a strong storyline, one that honors her previous arc while setting her up for something new, rich, and rewarding. The writers have proven that they're not afraid to dig into emotional complexity, and Britt's return could be the perfect vehicle for that. Jason needs something to challenge him emotionally. Britt needs a reason to reclaim her place in Port Charles. And fans need a story that delivers the kind of satisfying, slow-burn, high-stakes romance that soaps are made for. Reuniting these two could provide just that. It could also offer redemption for Britt, healing for Jason, and a fresh spark that reminds everyone why General Hospital remains a powerhouse of drama. If Britt does return, her presence could also shift the entire romantic landscape in Port Charles. Other women may find themselves rethinking their own feelings for Jason, and men who were once interested in Britt could re-emerge with renewed passion or jealousy. The triangle or quadrangle, possibilities are endless. Perhaps Britt will find herself caught between Jason and another suitor. Or perhaps her return will expose lies, unravel secrets, and spark confrontations no one saw coming. There's also the question of how Jason would react emotionally. He's not one to wear his heart on his sleeve, but Britt was different. She could pull reactions from him few others could. A scene between them, whether angry, tearful, or tender, would be a guaranteed ratings boost and a gift to longtime fans. Watching Jason struggle with unresolved feelings, guilt, and longing would add depth to his character at a time when he desperately needs a personal storyline. And let's not forget the possibility that Britt's return could be the catalyst for Jason to finally walk away from the mob. She once represented a future where he could be something more than Sonny's enforcer. Could her reappearance reignite that possibility? Could Britt be the one person who makes Jason question whether there's still time to carve out a life of his own? One that doesn't involve constant danger and emotional sacrifice. There's also the tantalizing idea that Britt might be hiding something major. Maybe she was never truly dead. Maybe she faked her death to escape a threat. Maybe she's been working undercover. Maybe she has information that could blow a current storyline wide open. Whatever the truth is, it needs to be powerful enough to explain her long absence, and to justify her dramatic re-entry into Port Charles. Ultimately, Britt and Jason's love story was short but potent. It resonated deeply because it felt real, earned, and surprising. Their connection was rooted in mutual respect, emotional vulnerability, and the courage to love despite the odds. If GH brings Britt back, the writers owe it to fans to honor that legacy, not just with romantic payoff, but with a storyline that feels authentic, emotional, and worthy of both characters. General Hospital has the opportunity to deliver something truly special by bringing Britt and Jason back into each other's orbit. It's a chance to explore second chances, emotional recovery, and the healing power of love. In a town where betrayals are common and happily ever afters are rare, Britt and Jason could be the exception. A couple who finds their way back to each other against all odds. But to get there, they'll have to face painful truths, risk heartbreak, and be willing to trust again. And that's exactly the kind of journey soap fans live for. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.